Welcome to Central Texas College, completing the Faculty Performance Evaluation Form. I'm Scott Wyman, the Training and Technology Coordinator, and I'll be your guide throughout this entire training session. To find the form, log into eTrieve and then do a search for the word performance, or you can just type perfor, and eTrieve will bring back two possibilities for you. You want to select the Faculty Performance Evaluation 1.2. The staff performance evaluation is for non-faculty members, so make sure you select the faculty performance evaluation. Keep in mind that these evaluations have no direct tie to compensation. However, continued employment with CTC does depend on favorable evaluations. Once you get the form open, you're going to start with the employee information section. First thing you want to do is enter the employee's 7-digit ID number in the CTC ID field. Keep in mind this is a 7-digit number, no letters, just 7 digits. Once you enter the employee's ID number in the field, click the search button, and eTrieve should return the employee's last name and first name. If this does not happen, you should have the ability to manually type in the last name and first name, but double check the ID number before you manually enter their name. Then fill in the remaining portion of the employee information section. Enter the campus, the position title, the department, time and position. If you're not sure about the time and position, feel free to give Employment Services a call and they can look this up for you. Enter the evaluation start date, the evaluation end date, and then choose the type of evaluation. Please make sure in the status section that you select all status that apply to the faculty member being evaluated. There are 5 different checkboxes here, and more than one may apply. For example, if you have a full-time faculty who teaches face-to-face, then select both full-time and face-to-face. If you have a full-time faculty who teaches online, select full-time and online. The reason for this is the majority of these checkboxes have a separate section of the evaluation that needs to be filled out. Failure to select all appropriate status may result in a returned evaluation. For face-to-face instructors, keep in mind there are 4 additional evaluation areas once you select the face-to-face status. Each of these 4 checkboxes must be checked in order for the faculty member to receive a meets as their evaluation for this section. If any one of these 4 are not selected, then this will need to be a needs improvement. The comments section on the form must be filled out by the direct supervisor. Second level supervisor or manager is not required unless they do not concur with the direct supervisor. Comments must be hard-hitting, honest comments. Include real achievements. Put bullet statements out there that really emphasize the accomplishments of this faculty member. Give specifics and include data. Numbers are always good. Percentages, things of that nature. Also keep in mind that the hiring supervisors, HR, and legal will focus on the comments when reviewing these evaluations. Once the evaluation direct supervisor comments have been entered, the supervisor will then select whether or not the individual faculty member is currently enrolled in a performance improvement plan. They will then select a recommendation for step increase. Generally, if an employee meets the expectations in the majority of the evaluation areas, you would recommend them for a step increase. However, if the employee does not meet multiple or certain key expectations, the supervisor can recommend no step increase. Keep in mind that if you recommend no step increase, the comments must support this. If you recommend a step increase, then your comments must support this rating. If no step increase is recommended, then the faculty member must be placed on a performance improvement plan. Also keep in mind that the September 1st step or pay increases are contingent upon Board of Trustee approval. There is no guarantee that we're going to get a pay raise every September 1st. The originator of the form, whether it's the supervisor or an office specialist or an office technician, must fill in the entire routing information section of this form before it gets submitted. They're going to enter a direct supervisor. They're going to enter a second level supervisor. If there is no second level supervisor, then you put the direct supervisor in second time. Then you're going to select an executive officer, dean, or department chair. And then the last one is the individual being evaluated. So again, direct supervisor, second level supervisor, executive officer, dean, or department chair, and then the individual being evaluated. If there is no second level supervisor, enter the direct supervisor's name a second time. There is a section on the faculty evaluation form labeled Other Duties and Responsibilities. Not all faculty members will have additional duties and responsibilities. However, if you're evaluating a faculty member who does have additional duties or responsibilities, you can add up to 5 separate duties by clicking the Add button. Employees are not required to add comments. They are required to review the form, but they are not required to add comments. If you're the supervisor and you are not the originator of the form, once the form gets to you, now it's time to go ahead and select a rating for each area. You can either select meets, needs improvement, and some areas have an optional NA selection. Also keep in mind that any area that receives a needs improvement rating, you must have a performance improvement plan set up for that area. Once you've done all your ratings, all you need to do is click the Approve button. There is absolutely no need to refer this form to anyone. It's set up to flow through the approval chain in a specific sequence. So there's no need to refer this form. Each individual, once they receive it and review it, all they have to do is click the Approve button, and that will send the form on to the next reviewer. Each evaluation must be approved by at least 2 supervisors as indicated in the form history. All right, so the form routing, this can be a bit confusing for some folks because it goes to the direct supervisor so many times, especially if the supervisor is the originator of the form. If the direct supervisor is the originator of the form, they're going to fill out the routing section and they're going to put their name in as a direct supervisor. So when the originator clicks Submit, it goes to the direct supervisor. So if the direct supervisor is the originator, he or she will send the form to themselves. Once the direct supervisor has reviewed the form, done all the ratings, then they're ready to click the Approve button. That will send the form to the second level supervisor. If there is no second level supervisor, the form will go back to the direct supervisor. Once the second level supervisor is completed their review, they click the Approve button, or if corrections need to be made, they can send it back using the Return button to the direct supervisor. Again, do not refer this form. When you refer a form, it takes it out of the normal workflow. If something needs to be corrected, you use the return button at the bottom. Second level approver approves it. It goes on to the executive officer, dean, or department chair. The executive officer, dean, or department chair also have the ability to return the form for corrections if needed. When they're ready, they click the approve button and the form moves on to the direct supervisor. We do this because we need to make sure that the executive officer, dean, or department chair's comments match up with the direct supervisor. The direct supervisor should review those comments so that they're ready when it's time to brief the employee, the faculty member. After the direct supervisor reviews, then they're ready to click the approve button and the form moves on to the employee or the faculty member. The faculty member does their review, adds any comments if they choose to do so, then the form flows back to the direct supervisor. This is the normal workflow, folks. Do not refer this form because you think you shouldn't get it again. If there's any doubt, please feel free to give me a call. My number is up there on the screen, and I'll be glad to answer any questions for you. I can look in the workflow and see where it's at and where it should be. After the direct supervisor reviews the form to make sure that no changes were made by the employee, then they click the approve button and it moves on to human resources, and the workflow is complete. Due dates for faculty members. Faculty members shall be evaluated again in their first year and then every 3 years after that. So for first year, it's going to be an initial FAC 1. If it's a 3-year review, FAC 3. Faculty evaluations must be completed and submitted to employee evaluations in HR no later than May 1st. That doesn't mean start working on the evaluation May 1st. That means it needs to be completed and made its way through the workflow to human resources no later than May 1st. So when you're doing your evaluation, writing the evaluation, a few do's and don'ts, just some things to keep in mind. Be honest. Give these folks honest feedback. If there's areas of improvement, mention those areas of improvement. You can have an area of improvement without making a given section a needs improvement. We can do our jobs, but there's always room for improvement. Be positive. It's always key to focus on the positive aspects of these evaluations. Check your bias at the door. Make sure you don't have any preconceived notions about the individual that you're evaluating. Again, honest, positive, non-biased feedback. Explain everything. You want to make sure that the faculty member being evaluated understands exactly what you're talking about. This is where the comments come in handy. Provide the evaluation for the entire year or for the entire training period. Don't evaluate the individual based on 1 or 2 things that they did wrong or 1 or 2 things that they did right. Evaluate them based on their performance over the entire rating period. When you get into the actual meeting, start the meeting with a positive note, end the meeting with a positive note. Start out by telling them that you appreciate all their hard work that they've done. Tell them that you appreciate them being on time. Appreciate them being organized. Our worst employee has done things that can be noted positively. I don't think anybody has been hired and just done absolutely terrible the entire time they're here. So start with a positive, end on a positive. We're going to focus on improvement this year, and I look forward to working with you and getting the job done. You know, something as simple as that. A few don'ts. Don't spring the meeting on them. Let them know at least a week in advance when you want to sit down with them and review the evaluation. Shouldn't be a surprise attack. Don't embellish or sugarcoat. You're hiding things that need to be corrected. Don't hide things that need to be corrected. Don't pigeonhole feedback. Don't just make a note and set it aside, make a note, set it aside, make a note and set it aside. If you're going to make a note about the faculty member's performance, then you need to talk to them about that performance now, then, at the time. Don't wait until evaluation time to give them all these things that you've been holding on to for the entire rating period. And that takes us right into this one. Don't surprise your faculty members with negative feedback. When they come into that meeting about their evaluation, they should know whether they've done good and expect a good evaluation, or they should know when they've done bad and expect a poor evaluation. Don't focus on the negative. Yes, they've done a couple things wrong, but don't focus on that. You want to make sure they understand what they did wrong and what they need to do to fix it, but those shouldn't be the main focus of the evaluation. Again, there's likely going to be more meets the standards than there are needs improvement. Okay, let's take a look at the performance improvement plan. Hopefully none of y'all ever have to do this, but if the occasion does arise, you need to know how to go about getting this done. First of all, the performance improvement plan isn't a form that we have readily available on eTrieve. This is going to be a Word document or PDF document that you get from Jackie Thomas in the EEO office. And this is what it looks like. This is the top part of it. So again, for every needs improvement you select on the evaluation form, you're going to need to enter a section here on the performance improvement plan. So this form actually shows two areas that need improvement. We have prepare and update reports. We also have cooperation and teamwork. So this covers two areas. If you need more, you just add another one. Okay? It's real easy to take care of. So going across the top of this form, we have the employee's information. Then we get into the key responsibility. This comes directly from the evaluation. You need to tell them what success looks like and how you're going to measure it. So for this one, we say the employee understands the requirements of the reports and completes assignments effectively. So you're going to have to tell them what effectively means. Then we have recommended activities, actions, or experience. These are ways that they can go about improving on that needs improvement. For this one, we said they can read the standard operating procedures, follow instructions and guidelines, ask your supervisor for assistance, clarification, things of that nature. Attend one-on-one coaching sessions with your supervisor. You can attend training on Excel through the Employee Training and Technology Department or other resources available. And here is where you list those available resources. The SOPs, the supervisor, employee training and technology. You give a start date. That's going to be the date that you initiate this performance improvement plan. You tell them when you're going to follow up with them. You can add specific dates in here, but it's best, I think, to add, you're going to follow up with them weekly, twice a week, every other week, whatever you decide. Just make sure that you stick to that check-in dates. If you tell them you're going to meet with them every Friday, make time to meet with them every Friday. Add a target finish date when you propose to be finished with this this performance improvement plan. You can finish before that. You can finish after that. That's just a proposed target, because the last column here is the actual finish date. And then below that, we have the measurement. How are you going to measure their progress? For this one, we said assignments are going to be fully completed within the established deadlines with a high degree of accuracy. Other department employees begin to ask the employee for assistance on creating reports. That shows that they're doing their job correctly. The performance improvement plan must be signed by the supervisor and the employee upon initiation, and then again upon completion. Employees eligible for a 9-1 step increase if the plan is successfully completed by June 30th. They must complete the PIP before June 30th in order to be eligible for that pay increase if it's authorized or approved. Again, supervisor, it's your job to help the employee through this. It's not just a tool for the employee to get better. It's a tool for the two of you to work on getting that employee back up to standards. Send a completed copy of the PIP to Jackie Thomas once finished, or if the employee fails to meet the PIP in the given time period. Failure to complete and submit a PIP will be reported to the supervisor's deputy chancellor. We need to make sure that these things are worked on, followed through, and kept up with. Once we get into the meeting, again, start the meeting with some positive feedback. Focus on problem solving and taking action. Again, supervisors, it's your job to help these employees through the process. Thoroughly discuss performance improvement plan if it's been initiated. Avoid discussing motivation or personal issues. Now, chances are, once you get into this next one where you allow them to discuss their feelings and reactions, try and keep it focused on work. How you feel about the work. What are your reactions to work situations? Not personal things going on at home. That just turns into some ugly mess that really shouldn't be part of this. Actively listen as your faculty member or employee is giving you this feedback. Okay, feedback goes both ways. And then discuss the objectives for the upcoming year. Again, you want to end this on a positive note. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to bring things back up to speed and make you a stellar employee. Okay, end on a positive note. If you have any questions on how to fill out these evaluation forms or how to process the form through the workflow, feel free to give me a call. There's my number. And whatever you do, do not refer these evaluations. Do not refer the evaluations. There's no need to refer the evaluations. The originator submits it, and then everybody from there on just approves. If it needs to be returned for correction, it gets returned, and then whoever it's returned to clicks approve, and it goes back through the process. So again, don't refer. If you have questions about whether or not you need to refer this form, feel free to give me a call, or Shelly Gonzalez. There's her number as well. I appreciate your time. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and we'll talk to you later.